Yo, it's Mo Salim here from TripleYourT.com, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the 3 deadly mistakes that are killing your testosterone levels. Over the past couple of weeks, I've talked to a bunch of guys and I've seen these same 3 mistakes come up again and again and again. But in this video, I'm going to give you the scientifically proven action steps to help overcome these mistakes and help you move towards a life of more energy, health, and well-being, and of course, higher testosterone levels. With that being said, let's dive into the video. So the first mistake that men make when trying to naturally increase their testosterone levels is thinking that steady state traditional cardio is the best way to lose body fat, alright? But this is definitely a huge mistake because the study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine actually found that men who regularly ran long distances had significantly lower testosterone levels compared to even the non-athletic control group, alright? In other words, the couch potato had higher testosterone levels than the guy running long distances, alright? That's a pretty big finding. So why is traditional steady state cardio so bad for you? Well, it's because it significantly elevates your cortisol levels, alright? Cortisol, as you might know, is the stress hormone. It is also a steroid hormone and therefore is manufactured from the same raw material as testosterone, alright? So it's manufactured from cholesterol as well. When you run long distances, it significantly elevates your cortisol levels, leading to a significant drop in testosterone levels as well, alright? Now, how significant is this drop? Well, in one Brazilian study, they took the blood measurements of guys before a 42 kilometer race or 26-mile race, and after a 42 kilometer or 26-mile marathon, alright? And what they found was that before running the marathon, their testosterone levels were double compared to what their testosterone levels were after running the race. Furthermore, they found that cortisol levels were also double after running the race and half before the race. Does this mean that you should ditch cardio altogether? Well, traditional steady state cardio, there's no point of it, alright? Unless you are in the sport of marathon running or are really into running, then there's no reason for you to be doing this type of cardio unless you really enjoy it, alright? Because a lot of the guys that get into doing cardio think that it's actually the best way for them to lose weight, but the reality is that it's not, alright? But you should not ditch cardio altogether. What's more important is high intensity interval training, alright? So this is basically sprinting. And the reason for this is because sprinting has been found to not only be more effective for fat loss, alright, that's proven as well, but it's also been found to induce significant spikes in testosterone and growth hormone. So if there is a type of cardio that you should be doing, especially if your goal is to naturally increase your testosterone levels, then sprinting, aka high intensity interval training, is the type of cardio you should be doing, alright? Now, a similar sample of a routine, what a routine might look like would be, for example, 15 minutes total, and you just cycle between bouts of very high intensity, cycle with bouts of very low intensity. For example, you would do 15-second sprints followed by 45-second walks, cycled over 15 minutes, all right? That's just an example of a high intensity interval training schedule, but just Google it and you'll find a bunch of others which you can use on a stationary bike, swimming, or any type of movement which initiates your blood to pump faster, your heart to beat faster as well, and do that over short intervals, because if you do it over long intervals, that's just going to increase your cortisol, and like we said, that is something we don't want. Now, the second deadly mistake that's killing your testosterone levels is being chronically sleep deprived. Now, you already know the importance of sleep, but the problem is that we live in a culture that glorifies the hustle and grind, and sayings such as you can sleep when you're dead and sleep is for the weak and stuff like that. But the bottom line is that if your sleep is not on point, you will definitely not be functioning near your peak potential, alright? You have to make sleep a priority. And in one study, what they found was that men who slept for 4 hours one night had half the testosterone levels compared to men who slept for 8 hours in one night. The majority of your body's testosterone is produced during the deep hours of sleep, and if you're not getting enough of it, then it's just gonna hinder your progress and destroy your testosterone levels because testosterone not being allowed to be produced. All right, sleep is the most highly anabolic state that your body can ever enter. Now, another problem that I've seen with guys I've talked to, they say that they get their 8 hours of sleep every single day, but they still feel tired during the day and they still feel like they're not functioning near their peak. And the reason for this is because although their sleep quantity might be on point, their sleep quality is not where it should be. And therefore, they're missing out on the deep hours of REM sleep, recovery sleep, and the deep sleep that actually, during which the deep restoration actually takes place. They're missing out on that. All right, so sleep quality is something that you need to make a priority for sure. And in his book Sleep Smarter, Sean Stevenson writes that there's a period between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. I mean, this would vary based on where you are in the world, what season is, but generally between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. he calls it money sleep, all right, money time. And that's during that time is when your body actually goes through the deep restorative processes. And if you miss out on this time, even though you might get enough sleep, like in terms of quantity, you will miss out on the quality of sleep, and that leaves you feeling more tired the next day. All right, so if I can give you some tips in order to increase the quality of your sleep, I can give you 2 tips. All right, and if you just implement them, it will significantly increase the quality of your sleep and the quality of your life in turn as well. All right, so the first tip is to get out in the sun between the hours of 6 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. When you do this, your body will absorb the ultraviolet light, and that will align your biological clock, all right, or your circadian rhythm. That will align your hormonal secretions at the right time, so that by the time you intend on going to sleep, you'll actually feel tired because your hormones are aligned with the rising and setting of the sun. All right, so when you're exposed to the sunlight in the morning, you release morning hormones like cortisol, adrenaline, norepinephrine, so you can get energized and ready for your new day. And then when nighttime rolls around, your body will be more likely to produce higher amounts of melatonin, which will help you fall asleep faster as well. All right, that's the first tip. And the second tip I can give you is to keep a gap of 30 minutes between the last time you look at any screen, whether that's your smartphone, your laptop, or your television. Keep a 30-minute gap between the last time you look at a screen and the time you intend on going to bed. All right, because these screens emit a blue light, which once they're absorbed by your eyes, actually mess with your biological clock. They make your body think that it's still kind of morning, and then it messes with the hormonal secretions, it suppresses melatonin production, and then you just have a greater difficulty falling asleep. All right, research in fact done by the phone companies themselves shows that the more time you spend on a smartphone before going to sleep, the longer it takes for you to get to sleep, and the less time you actually spend in deep sleep. All right, so just follow those 2 tips and you will drastically improve the quality and quantity of your sleep. And that brings us to the third and final mistake that's killing your testosterone levels, and that is having a micronutrient deficiency. All right, now micronutrients are the vitamins and minerals that your body needs to function optimally. But the thing is that recent estimates show that large portions of the American population are deficient in a bunch of vitamins and minerals, right? But when it comes to testosterone, there are 2 in particular that you have to keep an eye out for, all right? The first is vitamin D. Vitamin D, the bulk of it you get from the sun. You can get some from the food as well, like eggs and dairy. But the thing is that food does not contain as much vitamin D as your body needs on a daily basis. All right, so if you're not spending enough time outdoors, I would highly recommend that you supplement with 2,000 to 5,000 IU of vitamin D every single day, because if you have deficient levels of vitamin D, it is impossible for you to have optimal levels of testosterone. And according to recent estimates, vitamin D is actually the leading micronutrient deficiency in Western developed countries. All right, some estimates show that up to 74% of Americans are not getting the amount of vitamin D that their body needs on a daily basis. All right. The second micronutrient you need to be focused on in terms of natural testosterone optimization is magnesium. And again, after vitamin D, magnesium is the second most deficient micronutrient in Western developed countries. All right, some estimates show that up to 50% of Americans are not getting enough magnesium through their diet. So foods like dark chocolate, avocados, dark leafy greens, these are all foods that are very rich in magnesium. And once you start eating them, you're providing your body with the fundamental vitamins and minerals that it needs to fulfill the process of testosterone synthesis. All right, and topping up your micronutrient levels is perhaps the easiest and most simple way to bring your testosterone levels up closer to where they should be. And chances are that if you fall within the average American person, you are deficient in these two micronutrients. Obviously, you should focus on getting all the micronutrients that your body needs, but vitamin D and magnesium will have the most significant impact on your testosterone. All right, so there you have it, the 3 deadly mistakes that are killing your testosterone levels. And if you fix them, you will drastically improve the quality of your life and move towards a being of more energy, power, and purpose. All right. And at the end of the day, these 3 mistakes are nothing out of the blue. They're nothing out of the ordinary. You already know that you should be taking these action steps, but I just wanted to film this video to make sure that you light that fire under your ass and start taking the steps right now, all right? Because another day you wait will be another day that you miss out on living the life you're capable of being. With all that being said, this has been Mo Salim from tripleyourt.com. I hope that this video has provided you with the actionable information you were looking for, and I'll see you soon.